Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Al Rosen, how are you today?
Welcome to CAD 116 Basic AutoCAD. Today we're going through our weekly Zoom meeting to review our assignments. We've just released Module 7, which is on dimensioning. The reading chapters are 16 through 19 from AutoCAD and its applications. And then Module 7 under the content area, and take the Module 7 quiz. Students are to choose either the mechanical or the architectural assignment. And so here's our CAD lab number 7. And here's the architectural assignment. And you can choose either one of these or this one. So choose one of these 3 drawings to do. The book objectives. Will be to go through and describe dimension standards and practices, be able to scale dimensions and manage dimension styles. And again, we have these assignments. And so if you click on them, here's the architectural drawing assignment. You'll use the architectural title block for that. The mechanical assignment goes through and shows you how to do this drawing right here.
And by the way, there's videos for it also in content.
Yes. And so here's the other assignment. We will need to put one more link in here, Al, as we go through and we look at the content area.
No problem.
Because there's some content in 7 here. And one of the content things that we want them to have, here's the video. So we'll add a link to the video. It's a little bit dated, but rather than cut a new video, we feel that this is workable. If you do have any difficulty, we'll be happy to work with you. We're just slammed right now with keeping everything running. So this video will go through and demonstrate how to do the assignment. And then there's a link in here in module 7 with the actual step-by-step to it. I believe I'll have to take a look for that. All right, so module 7, back to our main splash page. Al, would you like to talk a little bit about the midterm?
Certainly. We have a midterm coming up on October 26th, the week of it, I should say. You have a whole week to take the test. It's under honor lock, and we'll show you where it is in a momentarily. Basically, honor lock, we have to have a state ID, your B number. You can have it on a laptop, a phone, or your computer, either way you want to do it. It allows you to do it. Joe will slip and up into more tools. You will see honor lock over there. And when you click on honor lock, it would automatically go into it and ask you to log in and verify yourself and to see what's around the room. It costs you $11, but that takes care of every single test that Open has. So if you take another class, it also takes that one into consideration also.
Right, so the midterm will be multiple choice questions, very similar to the quiz, and it will be a hands-on drawing. And so the multiple choice questions, you'll be able to reach through the quizzes and exams. And when you click on the quiz or exam for the midterm, it'll have a little honor lock icon on there. And so make sure that you have a credit card so that you can pay the $11. You can take it for $6, but that's $6 per test. And we'll also be using honor lock for the final exam.
All right.
So it will be multiple choice questions from chapters 1 through
8.
modules 1 through 8. And it will be a hands-on drawing that will encompass the type of work that we've done in those modules. Last week, we released module 6. Everything looks fine for that. You should be doing the work, putting it in the Dropbox.
Make sure you do your module 6, 7, 8, whatever else quizzes, please, because they automatically count in your grades. And if you don't do it, they will drop into a 0. We're not going to have that happen, please.
And then today, module 5 is due. And so module 5 is due, I believe, at 11:30 p.m. is what time we usually make those due. If we backtrack into module 5, we're looking at these mechanical drawings, lab 5A, 5B. Here's our PowerPoint. And you could do the site plan or the, well, you can do the site plan or you can do one of the mechanical drawings. So we give you a choice. There's not a huge amount of work because we're under pandemic rules, but you're certainly welcome to do more work than to do less. We just want to err on the side of caution, and then everything is set up here for you. Okay, with that, let's take a quick look at the book readings and then we'll wrap up this video.
Sounds fantastic. Joe?
So ideally, the way we want to run the course is that we want students to do the readings from the textbooks. And it's kind of difficult because reading how to draw, we've been doing this for quite a while, isn't really the same as watching a video. And so we do find that people, as a visual element, spend more time with the videos, but we need to follow the directions of our administration, which is learning objectives and following the book. So 16, as we look at 16, it's to go through these different dimensioning standards and styles. And as you look through the textbook, ideally it goes through all the different terminology and how to use those different dimensioning styles.
Also, Joe, at the end of the chapter, each chapter, there are review questions. And it'd be real nice if you flip back through it just quicker. And it'd be all the way through the back. And these are just drawing scale and dimensioning. That's all what's going through here. If you keep on going, Joe. So we go over this lightly and quickly.
Yeah.
Sound good?
But before we talk about the review questions, Al, let's just go through the chapter because we don't require the review questions.
Right.
So from a standpoint of what you should be getting out of the course, drawing scale and dimensions is an important concept because depending on how big the object is, the drawings are scaled. And so we have things set up in the title blocks that set up your dimension scale. But you should go through and do the readings as far as how to set up these scales. And they're very good about telling you how to do that. And so the textbook goes through and shows you how to create a dimension style and how to put these different dimensions on. Everything from how to set up the lines, which are like the arrow terminators, to how to create the symbols and arrows. Everything you need to know about dimensioning. Things like working with alternate units, etc. And then the review questions are just a good way to do some check on your knowledge. You'll probably see some questions like this on the midterm, but the way we're running the class is we just have those quizzes at the end of the chapters. They do allow you to use your book and allow you to use the computer, and that's kind of how we assess that information. And then if we look at some of the other chapters in this module. So we were looking at
16, we'll go to 17.
16.
17 now.
Yes, sir. 17 is on linear and angular dimensions and just tells you how to apply basic dimensioning techniques. Linear dimension would be horizontal and vertical. How to adjust, how to add symbols. So there's quite a bit, and the textbook is almost like it's like having an encyclopedia or a dictionary where you know the words, but you just need to know the definitions and use them to be able to know the right way to set up these different dimension styles. So AutoCAD does everything. It's a great tool for both mechanical and architectural and general design work. And so depending on what field you're in, if you're somebody who works with architectural floor plans and prints, we show you how to do that in the textbook. If you're working for a manufacturing organization, shows you how to do that. And then things like enhancements like quick dimensions, and then some of the review questions. And then the last chapter, chapter 18.
No, 18 and 19 still.
Oh, one more then.
Sorry.
Thanks. Dimensioning features and alternate practices goes through the annotation of things like center lines, multi-leaders. And so these are a little bit trickier because if you haven't got a background in engineering or mechanical design or architecture, you might be, well, what are these little X's in the center of these circles? What does this mean? And the book does a great job of explaining how we go through and reference these different features according to these different drafting standards. So again, a lot of information in the textbook. What you want to do is you kind of want to basically read it for the content that we ask you in the quizzes, and then that information is available to you when you need it. Things like ordinal dimensioning, and then marking up drawings.
And the revision clouds or change orders.
Right. And then it was 19 also, Al?
That's last chapter for this one.
And so this is really for people in manufacturing to be able to dimension things very precisely. We use something called geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. And there is one drawing on the splash page for that, to be able to create something that is very accurate, 2.5 inches plus or minus 0.005. And so a human hair is about 0.003, 0.004. So it's very precise as far as to how these parts are to be created. And that's the kind of precision that is typical in today's modern digital manufacturing. The machines are super precise. And so the tighter the tolerance or the more precise it is, typically the more it costs, because it takes longer to make those parts and it takes more precision.
And also you might have to make a part, a drill bit to do that part for drilling.
So we wanted to make sure that we covered that information in today's weekly meeting, but that's basically it. And students are to take their assignments, complete the drawing assignments. And so if we take a quick look at them, we have this architectural drawing that'll be due next week. And then we have this drawing right here that the students are to dimension. And then we have this drawing right here. This is an alternate drawing that students are to draw and dimension. And that's basically it. The other one's bonus. No reason to go into that at this point. Okay, so don't forget, we will be having a hands-on test along with the midterm the week of October 26th. So next week we'll go through and we'll review for that. And then the last week of October, you will take the exam.
Any questions, please email Joe and myself on D2L. Make sure you notify us and tell us what class you're in. That will give us a little quick heads up.
Right. And just as a note before we sign off, we typically hold these Zoom meetings every week at the same time. We do a quick review and then we open the session up for questions. So with that, I'm going to end this video and we're going to open things up for questions.